I went there first, I don't know, the summer of '62. And Bunk's little cottage was still standing on School Alley. And I heard they were going to pull it down much later years in the '80s or whenever it was. I was trying to buy it and put it on a plot of spare land just next to my house and put a big sign up there and charge admission. I'd have had visitors from all over the world come to it, Japan and everywhere, Yugoslavia. Bunk is known everywhere over the world. In fact, there's a Bunk Johnson Society in Sweden. And but anyway, the house was pulled down before I got a chance to do anything. And there's always been questions, even in my book there. My partner, Mike Hazeldine, said, was he born 10 years later than he said he was? Well, I don't see why. I've never in my life known a man lie about being older. Most of them lie about being younger. And Bunk was a rare one for the ladies, apparently. And I just can't see the man saying he was 10 years older than he was if he wasn't. I mean, look at the photograph outside Gene Williams' apartment. Slow Drag was born in 1887. And look at the difference between him and Bunk. Slow Drag looks like a relatively young man, you know. I wrote a book on Bunk with a friend of mine, Mike Hazeldine. This is the book, and you can still buy it, it's still available. It's a good book, actually. Anyway, we made this film with several trips to New Iberia, and you'll see the rest of the film for yourself. I think it's well worthwhile.
Willie Geary Bunk Johnson,
commonly known as Bunk, was one of jazz's more controversial figures, a renowned brawler, drinker, and by reputation a difficult musician to be on stage alongside. This film is not an account of his life and times or an attempt to put the record straight. Instead, we're focusing on the present-day ongoing legacy of Bunk in the place where he spent much of his time, New Iberia, Louisiana. A town of around 30,000 people, New Iberia is situated about 130 miles due west of Bunk's birthplace, New Orleans. Bunk claims to have been born on the 27th of December 1879, and while that is what his gravestone reads, many consider him to be as much as a decade younger. Bunk himself having made a claim for Social Security in 1937, giving his birthday as 1889. He was married in New Iberia, and he worked at the former plantation house Shadows on the Tess as a general gardener and handyman. He enjoyed a career boost in the mid-1940s when American music record label owner Bill Russell came to town and helped him back onto the music scene. By the time Bunk passed away in 1949, he'd achieved worldwide fame. Present-day New Iberia is now home to the Bunk Johnson Arts and Heritage Festival, a non-profit organisation presenting yearly concerts, a festival, and many other Bunk-related events. The town even boasts its own marching brass band, the Bunk Johnson Brass Band. Jazz historian Barry Martin travelled to New Iberia to interview some of the people associated with promoting Bunk's legacy, and with the help of Bunk Fest's president Charles L. Porter, he met with members of the public, musicians, and festival organisers. So sit back and take a trip with us down the bayou to meet some of the New Iberia residents who are continuing Bunk Johnson's legacy.
for 36 years. Starting on this Monday is my anniversary.
And were there tourists coming here then when you
Oh,
started?
yes, yes.
They've
The house
moved-
opened to the public in 1961, so it was already a National Trust historic site when I came. It's owned by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. It's one of their 28 historic sites nationwide.
And the river is just how far away from
Bayou
here?
Teche is just behind the summer house. Over the years, we've focused on working with the local Bunk Johnson Jazz Festival organization.
So what was his official position here?
If you read the papers that were left by the last private owner of the property, which was William Weeks Hall, who lived here from the 1920s through the 1950s.
Yeah.
When he talks about Bunk Johnson, it makes it sound as though whenever Bunk Johnson maybe was back in town, needed some work, he would come here, and he referred to him as the yard man, the gardener.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a constant position, and I think it was just
Well,
once in a while kind of thing.
for Bunk, there was never a constant position of anything. He flitted around from band to band, state to state. I mean, how many visitors do you get here a year?
Probably around 16, 18,000, depends.
How many of them come for Weeks Hall, and how many of them come for the movie stars that were here? How many come for Bunk?
Weeks Hall never became a well-established artist, so Henry Miller once visited here in about 1939, 1940, and he wrote in one of his books about his time, his visit with Weeks Hall, that Weeks Hall was living in his own best masterpiece. His preservation of the gardens and the house was probably his most important canvas, his most important artwork.
They had people came here like Gloria Swanson, as far as I know.
Weeks Hall used to invite, there was a period of time when he invited a lot of well-known people here, and it was his way of promoting the shadows. He was still trying to get an organization that would take over the property and preserve it. And he felt if he could make it nationally known and important, and he would do that by inviting important people that would talk about it. Walt Disney signed his autograph door. Henry Miller came here more than once. D.W. Griffith, the movie producer, Cecil B. DeMille, movie producer, was here. Ilya Kazan, the playwright, Streetcar Named Desire. Tex Ritter, the singing cowboy. I think we got more when I first started in the 80s, we would get in conjunction with the Jazz Festival in New Orleans. You'd get folks from Europe and folks from Australia that would come to New Iberia looking for Bunk Johnson.
But at least they got that plaque up on Main Street.
Yes,
I've seen it.
That's in the last couple of years I did that.
How are you involved in this Bunk Johnson business?
Well, originally I got started, I guess, around 1998, 1999 with my mentor, Judge Charles L. Porter, good friend and mentor, and he had a vision to see Bunk Johnson, put where he should be put on a mantle and showcase. And
he should be on a monument in the middle of Main Street.
Exactly. And through the years, I think we finally got to the point where he's getting his chest due.
This is Judge Porter.
Charles Porter.
Charles Porter. We're in New Iberia, and we're filming where Bunk used to live. School Alley.
These are the current occupants of the property where Bunk Johnson lived on School Alley. They have some have some recollections, some are a little too young. They have a recollection, but go ahead and tell us your experience with the property or some information you might have. Gene?
Really familiar with the house. We actually used to run through the house when it was vacant, so we do have a little.
You ever ran through it when he was here, or?
No, it was after.
I know you ain't old enough.
no.
I shouldn't be so stupid to ask that.
Yeah.
If they hadn't have pulled Bunk's house down, you wouldn't have been living here. It's always good and bad.
It's good and bad.
And the thing that I like most about music is that it gives us all an opportunity to bring folks together. And talking to Dwaylen who's the lead guy in the Buck Johnson brass band, you know,
Yeah,
and he always says, you know, a C flat here in New Iberia is the same C flat over in England, Australia, Africa. So I look at it where it's give me an opportunity to do something I truly believe in, and that's bring people together through music. And so even though I do not play any musical instrument, I feel that I'm adding value to people's lives because I'm helping, you know, put this thing together. So I'm glad I came aboard.
You a trumpet player?
Yes, trumpet player.
Where did you learn the trumpet?
I actually started off in elementary school. You know, band director started me off. He looked at me and said, "You play trumpet?" I said, "Okay." And been playing trumpet ever since. With our brass band, we're actually bringing some of the elements from New Orleans that he was, you know, traditionally used to doing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of bringing them to this area once again because it was here before.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, you know, with the electronic music and all that other stuff, it kind of died out. But I think now it's starting to come back because there's an appreciation for what we've been doing with the brass band. And I think the community as a whole really starting to embrace it.
You think it's getting better here?
Yes, I do. You know, for example, the bunking on the bayou. Last year, towards the end of the night, it was standing room only. The people just came out. It started a little slowly, the crowd coming in, but I say around 5:30, 6 o'clock, I was just like, wow, this is a lot of people.
Festival every year?
Yes, actually, to be honest with you, I think I've played every year since the beginning, every year. In some capacity. I used to play with trio, jazz trio, Violence Horizon, and we kind of, that first year, we kind of started playing. And every year, I think somewhere there's a trumpet, my trumpet's on.
Yeah.
My name is John Reedham. I'm from New Iberia. I am a member of St. Edward's Catholic Church, the church where Bunk Johnson funeral was held, and the place where he's buried. And the guy who lives across the street, his name is Raymond Sims. And one of the things that he does is that when people go into the graveyard, he says, "Who are you looking for?" Because he works in the graveyard and knows where every tomb is. And eventually, there was a headstone there, but prior to that, there was another headstone. Somebody removed it.
In the St. Edward Cemetery in New Iberia, Louisiana, St. Edward Roman Catholic Church, and we're at the gravesite of Willie Bunk Johnson. It is inscribed December 27th, 1879, July 7th, 1949. Maud, Bunk's wife, was a member of the Dixon family. And it is said that was one of the reasons that Bunk was laid rest here, that
Stay on the family plot next.
Made a significant contribution to jazz music, to American music, to music worldwide.
Long live New Iberia.
Long live Bunk Johnson.
Yeah.
The market has come here to teach the community how to become more culturally connected, more aware of their surroundings and how to grow plants and grow food and go back to the basics and the fundamentals. And how Buck Johnson got right here is because there was a park once before, a couple years back, on this lot next door. But the park got dismantled over a period of time, so they didn't have another designated spot for Buck. And so since we opened up the market here, it was a perfect opportunity, a perfect spot for him here in the community, the same community where he once, lived.
I came to New Iberia to interview people for this film about Bunk. And I've had so much help from Judge Porter and me and other people. But you are actually Bunk's granddaughter.
Yes.
Well, I can ask you a few questions and show you a few things and see what you make of them. Let me see.
Teresa Johnson.
Your mother was named Teresa? Here's my little notes. Let me just run this by you. It might make sense, it might not. I've got Bunk Johnson and Alvesta Isidore, born.
That's my grandmother.
Well, Alvesta was born on 24th of
December.
Yeah, good. And then I've got, this is the family tree. Then I've got Bunk's granddaughter, Gloria Johnson Andrews.
That's me.
That's you. That's fantastic. I'll take my hat off to you and shake your hand if I may.
Now, he had another granddaughter and 3 grandsons, my brothers and my sister, but they all passed away. My sister passed away 2 years ago.
What was your sister's name?
Her name was Dolores.
Okay.
And my brothers were Ronald Baptiste, Wilson Baptiste, and Richard Baptiste.
But what do you remember about your mother? I mean, what kind of person was she? What did she do?
She was more like a housewife,
Yeah.
homemaker.
Yeah.
She did little jobs back in the day in the 60s, working in someone's home.
All around here?
Right. She was a great mother. In our neighborhood, all the kids in the neighborhood would come to our house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were like the Cleavers, I guess. All the kids came to one home, and they loved to be there and play and eat, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the type of person she was. She would help anyone if she could. She had a good heart. I do know my mom said that when she wanted to marry her first husband, she went to Bunk, and Bunk went to him and said, "Do you love my daughter?" And so he took him to the courthouse to sign the papers. The only thing I remembered were little stories, and I just figured they were stories. You know, he played here, he played there. There was a fight at one point in a club, and that's how he messed up his instrument and his teeth. And,
that was with Evan Thomas's band, I think.
my mom used to say, come home and from a gig, and he'd take the money and just throw it on the bed.
Oh, no.
And she would get in the bed and just roll in the money. She was little, you know. Now, my mom said when he was working there, you know, and they had a dog,
Yeah.
he would cook a steak for the dog. And that's why I said, oh, these stories can't be true, you know. And my brother was a baby.
Yeah.
And when he was really sick, my mom would go over and help take care of Miss Moore, take care of him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she'd bring my brother. And she said one time he's in the bed with Bunk, and he's feeling good. He gets up and he's in the bed on his knees, supposedly trying to show my brother how to shoot marbles.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, well, that was a sign that he was getting to be all right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. But
Yeah.
so I say, well, then that lets me know he did care. I remember one time my mom said he played for kings and queens, and I said, okay. Yeah, right.
We honestly don't know the truth of that.
I know. I think
There's
that's
nobody
why they
alive
call
that
him
can
Bunk.
tell you.
True.
Yeah.
You know, the bad thing is a lot of those who knew a lot about him are gone. Sims, he knows a lot because he lives across from the graveyard.
Yeah, I know. And so it's fantastic to have you here to speak with you, and I thank you for coming.
Okay, it was a pleasure.
Okay, good. And next time if it comes to Iberia, you just come out and say, "How you doing, fool? I'm Bunk's granddaughter. I told you that." And I'll say, "Oh yeah, but,
Will do.
yeah, but promise me you will do."
I will.
If it wouldn't be for Charles Porter, none of this would have happened.